Hi everyone, Syma Khalid here from Science of the Times. So much excitement here today after the spending review yesterday, as the government has pledged £750 million in investment in a new national supercomputer, and this is on top of the £1 billion investment in artificial intelligence. And so while AI is already well resourced in the UK, this latest news of investment in high-performance computing for applications such as physics-based modelling is extremely welcome. And as chair of HEC Biosim, the consortium that provides allocation on the existing national supercomputer for biologically flavoured calculations, I know what this will mean for my community. I know that it will help to maintain our position as world leaders in development and application of biomolecular simulations. And I'll give you a couple of quotes that I have from my colleagues today. You know, there's lots of excitement. So Professor Jonathan Essex at the University of Southampton says that this new investment will enable him to make better pharmaceuticals much faster, and in particular in the very fast changing world of antibiotic-based therapeutics. John Christodoulou at University College London says that this will help him to realise his ambition of atomistic level modelling of the birth of proteins, so as they emerge from the ribosome. Coming up now, we have some. We hear from a couple of my colleagues, Professor Phil Biggin at Oxford and Professor Sarah Harris at the University of Sheffield. Okay, so over to Phil now.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Phil Biggin, and I'm a Professor of Computational Biochemistry at the University of Oxford. And I'm extremely happy to hear the news that the UK government has decided to invest for the next 5 years in a UK national supercomputer. I think that's fantastic news. The reason I think it's particularly fantastic is that in my own research group, we use supercomputing quite a lot for the research that we do to simulate the motion or the movement of proteins in the body, and that's important because all proteins actually move. Some move a little bit, so they just wiggle and jiggle, if you like, but some actually move and have to move in a particular or certain way as part of their function. And a good example of that is a transporter protein. These are proteins that are found in the body that are essential for the uptake of nutrients into the cells of your body. And simulation allows us to visualize directly almost how these transporters work at the level of all the individual atoms that comprise that protein. And one such transporter that we've been particularly interested in recent years is the peptide transporter. This is the transporter that is essentially responsible for the uptake of all the nitrogen that your body needs to survive. And when you eat a source of nitrogen, like protein, mainly it's protein, then of course the protein will be then digested in the stomach, and it will be broken down effectively into smaller units called di and tripeptides. These are then taken up through the transporter into your intestinal cells, and then they can be distributed as needed throughout the body. Now, as well as understanding how that process works, we are also interested in this particular transporter because it turns out that you can sometimes fool it into transporting drugs into your body that otherwise would not get into your body. So, for example, we know that some antibiotics struggle to reach the site of infection simply because they never reach it. Okay. By simulating the transporter, we can try and work out how it works, and then try and suggest how to modify existing antibiotics so that they would be taken up by the transporter. We're effectively trying to fool the transporter into taking up these drugs, sort of like a Trojan horse, if you like. And it turns out that physical simulation is still the best method to help us understand or deal with this kind of, tackle this kind of problem. So it really is really very, very good news that the UK has committed to investing in the next round of supercomputing for the next few years. Thank you very much.
Thank you, that's great, Phil. So let's hear from Sarah.
I'm Professor Sarah Harris from the University of Sheffield. I'm a theoretical physicist who works on biological molecules such as proteins and DNA. Supercomputers are very important to my research because biological molecules are incredibly complicated, and so we need the best supercomputing and the best algorithms and the best software in order to understand how these very, very complicated systems work. If we are able to understand better how biological molecules interact with each other, for example, then we are better able to understand health and disease, and this makes us more able to design the next generation of medicines that will benefit everybody in the future. The other thing that is very important about supercomputers is that they help us to analyze our experimental data, and they enable us to get more value from our experimental research. And this really, really helps us to build models that integrate our knowledge across all of biology to come up with a better knowledge and understanding of the fundamentals of life.
Thank you, Sarah. So, watch this space, folks, as we bring you more news of the exciting work that we're going to be able to do on this new national supercomputer. Bye.